You know, this is the time of day I really love. Will you look at that sunset out there?
Fabulous. Just breathtaking.
I am no chicken. I will not talk. I will not talk.
She ain't pretty, but I ain't too. The things we like are the things we do.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
This is Tomorrowland News Network's Corona Borealis with your local time and weather. As always, it's going to be a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And at the tone, the time will be now.
WDW Radio, your information station.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the WDW Radio Show, your Walt Disney World information station. I am your host, Lou Mongello, and this is show number 186 for the week of September 5th, 2010. This week, join us as we visit the all-new Meatball Bar at Portobello's Restaurant in downtown Disney. Sit alongside us as we do a live review of the 4 varieties of meatball sandwiches available, sample the local organic beer, and talk with Portobello's executive chef, Stephen Richard, about the concept and flavors of this unique dining experience, which offers maybe one of the best values on property. And I am very excited about an important announcement I'll make about a new project that I've been working on for some time now. You'll definitely want to stay tuned for that entire segment. I'll then have a few announcements and then play more of your voicemails at the end of the show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the WDW Radio Show. So it's once again time for another live restaurant review from Walt Disney World, because really, attractions are all that you do in between eating. And joining me once again, up at the bar here at the Portobello Yacht Club at downtown Disney, is once again Scott Otis from Otisburg.
Hello, everyone.
You know him from the Pretty Good Movie Ride, Glenn Whalen.
Hey, folks, it's great to be here again.
I'm sure if you joined us on the 24-hour show, you will know the name and the face of Mr. Jonathan Grant joining us for the first time on the live restaurant review.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here.
So I said we are here over at Portobello's trying out another new dining experience. Not much has changed on the inside, but what they now offer is a meatball bar up at the inside bar where they offer a selection of meatball sliders, local beers, as well as other imported premium and domestic beers, because really nothing goes better than meatball sliders and beer, or in our case, iced tea and Coke. So we wanted to come in and try it out for ourselves. Thought it would be a good idea to visit and do a live restaurant review, because again, I like the fact that it's another one of these, you don't need to sit down for a full-blown meal, kind of another quick service kind of option, other than just the normal hamburgers and fries and chicken fingers.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're looking at the menu right now, and on the bar menu, there's actually, it says at the top, meatball sliders. Each one is served on a mini hoagie roll with tomato basil sauce and grated Parmigiano, and there's only 4 options underneath it. Hey, Jonathan, you want to read the 4 options, please?
Yeah, we got the beef and veal with parsley, the spicy pork, the chicken with sage, or the salmon with tarragon. The beef, pork, and chicken are $1.95 each, or the salmon with tarragon is $2.95. And I understand there's a special deal. Do you guys know anything about that?
Let's talk to our bartender / waiter, Jason. Jason, tell us about the special, because again, and I like the fact too, the slider's very inexpensive at $1.95 each, but there's a 3-fer. You guys have a 3-fer special.
We do. You can actually mix and match any of the 3 sliders or do 3 of the same style for $5.
Come on, you can throw the fourth one in. Come, let's negotiate, Jason. There's 4 of us here. We're going to eat like you've never seen before, I'm telling you. So I think we've had a chance to look at the menu, and we all are in accord. I think we're all going to have the same 3 options. We're all going to have the beef and veal with parsley, the spicy pork, and the chicken with sage. Those seem to be the top contenders. But we've got to give the salmon its due. So we're going to have another 3 for deal with 3 salmons across the board. And we're not trying any of the beers, at least for tonight. But now, if you've heard the show before, you know that Scott Otis has an allergy to one of the items inside, which is cheese. And it's not a physical allergy, it's a mental allergy to cheese. So Jason was kind enough to bring out the executive chef from Portobello, Stephen Richard. Chef, welcome.
Nice to have you in the restaurant.
So again, you were brought out because of Scott's mental aversion to cheese. It's a bit freakish, honestly.
I'm not lactose intolerant. I just don't personally tolerate it.
So can you tell us a little bit about it says that they're all served with grated Parmesan. Are you able to sort of make accommodations for things like that?
Yes, we have four different flavors. One is spicy pork. One is beef and veal with parsley. One is chicken. Chicken is my favorite. It's made from chicken thigh and it's flavored with sage. And then the other one is salmon. It's a mixture of fresh salmon and smoked salmon that we flavor with tarragon. They're all served with tomato basil sauce. And Jason will, at your request, either put some cheese on it or, in your case, leave the cheese off. There is a little bit of cheese inside the meatballs as well, just so you know.
So don't go into like mental anaphylactic shock right here at the bar, because
I'm going to try to tough my way through this, and I'll make it.
This could be like a breakthrough. This is like an Oprah moment for you right here. It's a big breakthrough moment if you actually ingest some cheese. But Chef, as long as you're here, the Meatball Bar has been open for about a month. I've heard nothing but good reviews. Can you tell us maybe what was some of the thinking in turning the regular bar into sort of the meatball option as well?
Well, we wanted to kind of create an atmosphere that was comfortable and friendly to come in and have a drink. We've got some beautiful organic beers that are made locally here by the Orlando Brewing, and they're really great example. Every one of them is a terrific example of what it is. And we thought it was a natural thing in an Italian restaurant to partner a nice cold organic beer with a little meatball sandwich. If you wanted to come and have a little snack and have a cold beer with it, it'd be a perfect thing.
All right, so even though nobody else is drinking, I will take one for the team. Is there one of the local beers that you recommend to go with? I'm going with all the meats. So is there one that you recommend?
We have the Pelican. The old Pelican is an example of a pale ale that's beautifully hoppy. It's a terrific beer. That's my favorite of the ones that we have.
I will certainly take your recommendation, Chef. And I would tell you, we were very, very excited to hear this because we've been to the restaurant before and we enjoy it, but we wanted to have exactly that type of experience where we could just sort of get together, a bunch of guys, come up to the bar, hang out, chat in a very casual atmosphere.
The meatball sandwiches are terrific. To confess, I eat at least one every day. I usually go for the chicken. I also do the spicy pork once in a while, but those are the two that I go after, and I kind of nip those off the station as I pass by every once in a while. As far as the beers go, too, we have another one that we've incorporated into the food. We've got the porter, which we're using to braise our ossobuco with, and it comes out beautifully. If you like ossobuco, it's a nice slow braise, classic presentation of ossobuco with polenta and gremolata. But again, we braise it in the porter, and it really comes out beautifully. If you want to stay around for dinner, I would recommend that and have a porter on the side.
Yeah, now I'm starting to think that I should just have these as kind of like an appetizer before we actually go sit down and eat a full-blown meal.
See, that's what we're shooting for. Now you're starting to catch on.
Excellent, Chef. I appreciate you coming over. Scott seems like he's at ease. If not, we've got some Benadryl for you in case you ingest too much cheese. Really looking forward to it. Thank you very much for your time.
I hope we can avoid the physical and mental anaphylaxis. Both we want to be real careful about. But it sounds like you don't have a real allergy, so I think we're safe.
Great, Chef. Thanks again for your time.
Enjoy the meatballs and the cold beer.
Great. Certainly will. Thank you. All right, Jason, you're teasing us by laying out in front of us. I can smell it from here. A big old clove of garlic and bread.
Yes, sir. It is a full bulb of roasted garlic, slow roasted in olive oil and water all day, so it's very soft, very mild. It actually pops out with the tip of your knife and spreads over the fresh bread just like butter. We're also giving you some of our private label first pressed olive oil imported from Tuscany to dip with.
And the drooling begins. Oh, Tisney, there's actually cheese in this, so you can't have any of the garlic either.
What are you talking about? There is no cheese in this. I am very excited about this. The lovely olive oil rolls.
I'm a garlic guy, and since I'm with nobody except 3 other guys, I have no fears about how much garlic I eat tonight.
Yeah, I have no issues, no qualms about eating this garlic.
It looks good. I'm done talking. I'm going to dig in.
So, Jason, along with my my bread and so delicious garlicky goodness, I wanted to try the Old Pelican. It's kind of an English pale ale. Tell me a little bit about this. Again, it's a local organic beer.
That's right. You're drinking the Old Pelican European-style pale ale, and it's just the style. It gives you a little bit of a hoppiness, and it's actually got a little bit darker color than most people would expect from the Orlando Brewing Company. 100% organic. So it's a live beer. It's brewed cold, stored cold. If it gets warm, we throw it out because it's no good after that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it is darker than I expected, but it's still very, very smooth. And even with like just the bread, and it's going to go nice with the meatballs. You're right; it's a really good pairing.
It does. We actually brought that in purposely to go with the meatballs because it is the perfect pairing. All 3 styles that we carry actually match up individually with all the different meatballs.
I've heard enough. I'm going to plow through my... what do you guys think of the garlic? How you doing over there?
He was right. It's creamy like butter. It's awesome. And the thing is, I don't know whether I want garlic or olive oil on there because the olive oil is so good too. I got my mouth full of food right there.
That's why this isn't a video podcast. I gave up on that idea very, very quickly.
I've gone both with the clove of garlic and the olive oil. This is a giant clove, and spread a little bit garlic on there, and then dip it in the olive oil.
You let the bread soak in the olive oil. You put a little garlic on top. I need to put the recorder down and eat some more.
I don't want my mouth full.
All right, guys. Enough of the warm up here. Let's get right to the playoffs, and let's get right to the meatballs. The executive chef again came over and introduced our pairings for us, and again he said, you can see which meatball is which based on which of the garnish. So obviously the beef and veal has the parsley, the spicy pork has some other little green vegetable, and the sage. Don't laugh at me, cheese boy. What is the other? Okay, Mr. Grant. What's the other herb?
Rosemary, I think.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
And salmon has nothing. The salmon is alone. There's a tarragon. There's a tarragon in front of the salmon.
All right, so do we want to go salmon first? Because I think we're gonna have to build up from the salmon based on Jason's recommendation.
So this means Scott cannot participate in the first part of our review here.
Right. Scott is excluded from the initial part of the review. All the big boys are going to sit over here. You go ahead and play with your garlic.
We'll get back to you in a minute, Scott.
All right, so Jonathan and Glenn, just grab one and let's just pound it down at the same time.
So what we're looking at is a meatball served on what looks like a small dinner roll. So just for those who we're trying to imagine what we're going through right now.
Jonathan, did you photograph this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we'll include this in the show notes so people can see exactly what we're talking about?
Yes.
Good.
They're also served by incredibly good-looking bartenders, if you haven't noticed. Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. That's the only way they'll hire us here.
The sauce is really good.
Oh. All right, wait, layer by layer. First of all, the bread, just right. A little crusty on the outside.
Like a ciabatta? Yeah. It's like a ciabatta bread, maybe?
Yeah, they have ciabatta at Taco Bell, but it's not the same.
Yeah, ciabatta. Absolutely.
Yeah. Scott's still eating garlic by the clove over there. What do you guys think of the salmon?
It's salmon. It's very... It's just surprising because it doesn't look like it should taste like salmon. It looks like it should taste like beef.
I actually thought it looked like chicken.
Yeah, and it's a mild salmon flavor. It's not too overpowering. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna swallow first, and then I'm gonna say it doesn't have. I mean, not that salmon does. It doesn't have a heavy fish flavor to it. It's surprisingly very, very moist, and really works well with the red marinara sauce.
You can taste the mix between the fresh salmon and the smoked salmon. There's a little bit of both, depending on how the bite is.
From over here, I can actually smell the salmon. It actually smells good.
Scott's going into convulsions next door. You want a bite of this? Here.
Oh my gosh!
Right, he took me up on it.
He did it.
I just took a bite of the salmon, and it's actually quite good. I'm going to need another one, please.
This is a big breakthrough, Dave. First of all, you grabbed it right out of my
fondue in a minute.
He just gave me back nothing more than a crusty piece of empty bread. Jason, I gotta tell you, we all dug the salmon. We haven't even moved on to the rest of the meatballs yet. But that was surprisingly very, very good.
Can only get better from there.
Yeah, the chef highly recommended the chicken with sage, but I think I'm going to go, let's kind of all go in order here.
I think the pork is the one with the tarragon, right?
The chicken has a sage, the beef has the parsley, so let's do by process of elimination.
Yeah, pork has the little Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So,
you are the next Food Network star.
So we're going to go with the Christmas tree and not with the prom frond.
So why don't we have Jason, just so we're clear, which one is which, Jason?
Okay. Show you right here. You're going to have the beef, pork, and chicken.
The chicken has a Christmas tree, Glenn. You got that?
Christmas tree.
Chicken has a Christmas tree.
Beef, pork, and chicken. All right, so get them right. So let's go. The chef said the chicken is the best, so you want to go left to right? Oh, Jonathan Grant, you cheated.
He also ate somebody else's off their plate, too.
I'm still reeling from the fact that Scott ate the rest of my salmon. I'm so disappointed. All right.
You offered.
I did offer. I didn't think you were going to take me up on it. So, all right, let's go left to right and start off with the beef, yes?
All right, beef that has the...
And Scott, just so you know, this has cheese.
No, it doesn't.
You just keep telling yourself that.
Oh. This is amazing.
I really dig the sauce.
Yeah, the sauce is really good. It's kind of sweet. I like it.
I was going to say, first of all, the sauce on all these is phenomenal. Without a good base marinara sauce, everything else won't work. But yeah, the combination of the beef and the veal, dare I say, just like grandma used to make.
The other thing that's good about this is I'm wearing a white shirt, and the sauce is red. So later on I'll know what was my sauce and what was my shirt.
Well, the problem I'm having is that I have the microphone in one hand, I've got my slider in the other hand, and I can feel that there's sauce all over my face, which is why we're not doing a video show.
Absolutely. Luke, can I finish your?
No. Jonathan Grant is done already. Dude, you are a machine.
You guys are talking. I'm eating.
Yeah, the sauce this is really, really nice. I guess I guess we got to find out if these are pre-rolled. Did they make them?
I'll bet you everything is made fresh, because you can see, and Jason is nodding yes as I say that. The consistency of the meatball is just right. It doesn't fall apart, but it's still very, very soft. It's not too crusty or anything on the outside. You know, I love the salmon. I think I like the meatball better.
I agree, and I have a feeling we're going to even change that as we go on. Up to a great time. Hey, Jason, has there been a obvious favorite amongst people that have been showing up?
There actually has been. The spicy pork right now is our number one seller. It's not overly spicy, but it's got a nice little kick right at the end.
Jonathan, do not touch that spicy pork.
I'm hitting him.
Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready to move on to the spicy pork?
Yes, spicy pork is up next.
And that had the leaf of which I could not identify, which is going to come off just to garnish.
I think it's marrow.
Again, all the rolls for these are exactly the same, served in the same kind of sauce.
What's amazing is that each of the meatballs actually look very similar to each other, and they are distinguished by the little...
Is there any idea, like any feeling of like cheese or something in that you won't enjoy?
Actually, no. I cannot taste the cheese. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no cheese in here.
Now, I'm going to tell you...
That's what we've been telling you about almost everything you eat. There is cheese in everything you eat. So
I actually did taste a little bit of the cheese in the meatball, but just because I'm used to that. Again, that's how my mother would make meatballs. Jonathan Grant is already on his fourth helping her. Have you tried the spicy pork yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Just waiting for
yeah.
Just waiting for
Here we
the
go. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. And I'm a sucker for things that have different textures. So this ciabatta bread that it's on, is crispy. And then the meatball is really nice. I like it.
All right, let's see what happens.
Definitely has a different texture. I'm not sure how to describe this texture, but it definitely is different.
You're talking. You're out of the pork, right?
Yeah. It seems a little softer.
It's a different texture. I think it's a more unique flavor, even than the salmon. This tastes less like a meatball than even the salmon did to me.
Right, and I was almost expecting almost like a pulled pork slider, and it's not like that at all. It actually is a pork meatball. I'm sticking in front of the faces of all the guys that are chewing.
I really like this.
I don't think it's very spicy, though, but I very much like it.
It's a mild spice. It's definitely mild spice.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more of a zip to it, which I wouldn't have minded, actually. I wouldn't have minded a little bit more of a kick, only because I was expecting it because it's billed as spicy pork. So
Spicy, huh?
So I think I actually ranked so far, I think I ranked the meatball, then the salmon, and then the pork.
I'm going to say, I'm going to put the pork up top right now.
Why?
And the thing that I like about it is they didn't give in and like slather it in like pork barbecue sauce like we get it at Taco Bell or anything like that. This is still outside of that meatball. It's still the same sauce and it's still the same bread. This isn't a chalupa.
Why do you keep talking about Taco Bell? Are you having an endorsement deal with them? You have to say it 3 times in one show?
4 times.
And I will tell you, washing it down with my little Pelican Ale, it really does complement the flavors well, and the beer tastes different once you actually start to eat alongside it with the sauce and the spices and Scott the cheeses and the meat.
A few more beers and I'm going to start looking really handsome too, so be careful.
All right, so are we all done? And again, Jonathan Grant is cheating again. You are not going to be invited. All right, so
There are rules here.
the rules are, the first rule about the live dining reviews, you don't talk about the live dining reviews. So again, the executive chef, Jason, everybody was saying that the chicken, again, which looks exactly like the other 2 meatballs, was their favorite. Gentlemen, bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Let's pick up the one that's on the Christmas tree. Jonathan, you'll know it's yours because it's already been eaten.
Just one bite of it.
Oh, yeah.
By far the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's rosemary. That's in there. It's really good. And they're a good sized meatball, too. Before you take a bite out of them, like my head, they're bigger than a golf ball, probably a little bit smaller than a racquetball. So it's a good size. You get 3 of them.
Size to like a Taco Bell Gordita.
Yeah, value-wise, I think that's worth more than $1.95. I mean, I was expecting something honestly a lot smaller.
Compared to the size of a White Castle burger.
You know, you honestly can't even speak White Castle and these sliders in the same sentence. It's
There's anything like that, but
because first of all, right, and one of them actually doesn't contain meat, so. But you totally taste the herbs and the tarragon in this. That's the first thing that jumps out at you.
Yeah, this it's not. This doesn't have a chicken flavor the way the pork one definitely tastes like pork to me. This I taste the subtleties of the spices, etc. And once again, that sauce.
Yeah, I think the sauce is what does it. But again, the texture, like you said, John, the texture of the chicken, almost not what I was expecting. I was expecting each of the meatballs to have a different texture to them, but this truly is a chicken meatball, and it must be healthy because it's made out of chicken.
Yeah, that one definitely was my favorite. That one has the best taste to it. And,
Is that so? Is everybody agree? Does that sort of rank? Jason, we have a general consensus. The chicken one definitely top on the list.
The chicken one is another very popular one, the top of the three there. And actually, the chicken one very nicely pairs up with the European pills that we also carry from the Orlando brewery.
Jason, I'm a one beer kind of guy, man. But then again, if I have another chicken, I might have another beer too. But yeah, I even said the beer paired with the meatball really works well because it changes the flavor of both the drink as well as the food.
Very much so. It's becoming a bigger trend to match beers with food, kind of like everybody was doing with wine for years and years. And especially with the expansion of beers and microbrews and the way that everything's being brewed lately, you can actually pair almost any kind of beer with any kind of food. It just takes a little bit of time and dedication.
Yeah, that chicken was phenomenal. All right, so let's rank them. We all agree chicken is first. General consensus, chicken first.
I'm going to hold the pork up for number one.
Scott, why don't you rank them?
I'm going to say chicken by far number one. I'm actually going to put the beef one as number two with the pork one just a little bit below that. And I only had just that one tiny bite of the salmon, so I'm going to need to order up another one of those.
Are you really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
I like the chicken best. Salmon actually was really good in my opinion. I think that was up there with the chicken, and the beef and veal and the pork, they were both very good. But definitely the chicken one is the way to go if you're just ordering one.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed all of them a lot, but I guess I'm going to take the pork, put the pork up top. I put chicken number two, I'll put the salmon number three, and the beef at the bottom, only because that was the one that tasted most like a regular meatball that we've had before.
Yeah, I think I would put the chicken on the top. I would probably put the beef and veal meatball second. I really like that. I almost forgot. Salmon's like an old girlfriend. It was so long ago since I ate the salmon, but I really remember enjoying it, at least the part that Scott didn't steal. Chicken. So I might go chicken, beef and veal, salmon, and then pork. So the only thing that we've found out is that we agree to disagree, but it almost was not, we didn't like this one. It was, we enjoyed all of them, but one of them had to finish last.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And so if I were to come back, I actually might get two chickens and then maybe mix it up between a beef and a pork.
And the pressure to actually rank them in the right order is pretty extreme. So,
well, and you guys make a great point, because the thing is, because they're all so good, you can come back over and over again. You're not going to be disappointed. And look, we have 3 sliders with the bread, and in my case, a beer. If you do the 3-for deal, $5 for the 3 sliders, $6 for a beer. For $11, you're getting the bread and garlic, a drink, and 3 sliders. I mean, that was a full meal for us, and we're okay.
Yeah, those 3 sliders were enough that you really don't have to, it's not necessarily an appetizer, but of course you can, in the places designed for you to now go and sit elsewhere in the Portobello and have your dinner. But I don't need that right now. I'm pretty full. I mean, I'm full enough to get me over to Girardelli's.
Right, so like Jonathan, would you, if you were hungry, would you come here and say, okay, here's my $11, like you can have this for, a lunch or a dinner, and besides, not even have to go for a full-blown sit-down meal.
Absolutely. It'd be a great lunch. We had 4 sliders, and I'm good for dinner. Maybe could do some dessert. Maybe a dough bar over at Cooks of Dublin. But, yeah, that's a great meal and a great price.
But how come you said to Jonathan, if you were hungry? Isn't that like, aren't we like always hungry?
I'm talking about normal listeners that actually eat 3 meals a day and tour the parks. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a great way. And look, the restaurant is beautiful. It's nice sitting up here at the bar. It's not so loud that you're not able to talk to each other. It's not overpowering. And again, if you want to just come up here, have a little appetizer while you're waiting for your table, I think this is a really, really good option.
Yeah, if you have been in the Portobello in the past, but I can think of maybe a year ago now, they did a refurb inside of here. So if you haven't been inside since then, it's got a very different atmosphere. They got rid of the spring coloring all over the place. It's more of a darker, more intimate place with brown walls. It's a place you should visit again.
Tuscan style. I'm still chewing, so keep talking.
Tuscan style, just like Taco Bell.
Tuscan Bell?
Tuscan Bell.
All right. Final thoughts, Jonathan.
It was great. I will be back. What I'll probably do, even though I said I was full off of 4, I could get 6 of them for dinner and be a happy boy because I'm a big eater. But I loved them. They were very good.
And again, even if you get 6, and that's a lot of food, that's only $10.
Yeah, but by the time Jonathan gets his 6, he'll have eaten 2 already, so there'll only be 4 on the plate.
And don't forget the bread and the garlic.
Won't forget the bread and the garlic.
Final thought?
This was delicious. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all.
Yeah, and I actually think this would be a good place to eat just before you were to go to see a movie at the AMC theater, which I often do, and I have a half an hour to kill before movie time. So this would be a great way to get a very delicious snack, and then go see the movie. So thumbs up.
And appropriately enough, Chef Richard happens to come by. Chef, we have got to applaud you. We are all in agreement on one thing. We loved all 4 of them. We ranked them differently, but we do agree with your recommendation on the chicken.
All your plates are empty, I see, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, and when I've been talking, they're reaching into my plate to get whatever's left over.
Well, good. Which one did you prefer?
We all agreed that the chicken was, for the most part, was on the top of the list, and then we all ranked the following ones differently. I like the beef and veal meatball. I was very pleasantly surprised, as I think we all were, with the salmon. The texture of the salmon, the flavor of the salmon worked so well. And I think because the sauce for all of them, the base sauce, is just so good and so sweet.
We've got a simple tomato basil sauce that we use for the meatballs and for a number of other things on the menu, some of the pastas. And it's a very simple, classic recipe, but it works very well in this context and in the others. And like you said, they're texturally... The problem that I usually have with meatballs that you get in a restaurant, it's not flavor so much as it is texture. They need to be tender and light, and that has to do with not only the ingredients but how you go about making them. And we're kind of particular about the procedure that goes into it, so they come out the same every time. But I think that the texture is nice, and like you said, the flavor is different for each one. And it's a nice array if you try one of each.
Absolutely, and it works just so well on the roll. We absolutely agree that we think it's an incredible value at $1.95 each, and the 3 for $5. I mean, you can come in, get 3 samples and a beer, and your appetizer or your snack or even your dinner, if you want to just eat light, is only $11.
Right. It is a great value, and like you say, you're not committed to spending an inordinate amount of money to come in and sit down and relax and and have a drink and something nice to eat. And then, like we were saying earlier, if you want to go on and have an entree, you can do that either here at the bar or move to a table and go the whole way and try that ossobuco.
Yeah, you had me at ossobuco, so I will definitely be back for it. This was excellent. Again, I think we are all so very pleasantly surprised at what the Meatball Bar offers here in downtown Disney. Another great dining option. Again, whether it's a snack, an appetizer, or even your full-blown meal. So, Chef Richard, thank you and congratulations.
Once again, nice to have you in the house. I hope we see you again Hope we see you again soon.
I promise you that you will.
Thanks, gentlemen.
And Glenn from PrettyGoodMovieRide.com, Scott Otis from Otisburg.
Otisburg? It's a small little place.
And Jonathan Grant, who is a frequent contributor to the WDW Radio blog. You can check out his amazing pictures of not just the food, but he contributes a photo of the week to the blog over at WDW Radio. So thank you for that. And dare I say, we might even be able to order up a couple more.
I'm all for it.
Again, to try out Portobello, it's right in downtown Disney over at the Portobello Yacht Club, right by Fulton's Crab House, located behind the T-Rex restaurant. This is Lou Mongello and friends from Portobello signing off for now. And, of course, big thanks go out to Jason, too. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me tonight.
Good time. You like cheese now, don't you?
I love cheese.
Now, is he now a cheese fiend or what happened?
Like I love cheese. In 2007, I launched a brand new project that I had been thinking of and working on for many years. Because in addition to the show, I wanted to offer a much more detailed, structured, and focused look at the parks and virtually tour you individually through each land, attraction, shop, and restaurant. And after a long and in-depth period of research, writing, editing, rewriting, re-editing, recording, and producing, I released Main Street USA in early 2008 as the first of my audio guide to Walt Disney World series. I followed that up with Adventureland later that year and Fantasyland in 2009. In each of the guides, I want to feel as though we're touring the parks together, but also allow you to listen anytime, whether you're at home, at work, in the car, and still get that sense of being there as we explore the parks in depth and also help you plan maybe your next vacation to Walt Disney World. And I thought it'd be great to punctuate each guide with the three-dimensional ambient sounds of each land, appropriate to what and where we might be standing and what we might be looking at. I also wanted you to be able to take the guides with you to the parks in order to enhance your experience while you're there. You can put them on your MP3 player and see what I'm pointing out and enjoy firsthand the overlooked experiences and find many of the overlooked details and hidden treasures that I'll point out along the way. For those listeners that may be visually impaired, I wanted to be able to let them experience Walt Disney World virtually, whether they were at home or they can take the tour along with them when they visit the parks, as I describe all the surroundings in detail. I also wanted the guides to appeal to everyone, from the first-time visitor to the family making a return trip to their favorite vacation spot, to the hardcore Disney fan who has been there, seen it all, and enjoys the stories, history, and detail of the parks. I am incredibly grateful for the wonderful response I've got to the first three audio guides, Main Street, Adventureland, and Fantasyland, and I really appreciate your patience as I researched and wrote the next in the series. And if you listen to Fantasyland, you know that the next stop on our journey is Liberty Square. Unique to Walt Disney World, it represents the fulfillment of one of Walt Disney's personal dreams to let guests interactively experience the significance of American history and folklore. It's a land that's less about fantasy and more about reality, and it's replete with details and significance in design and in architecture. And once again, we explore the history, both real and imagined, the trivia, the hidden treasures, and overlooked details of Liberty Square. So I'm incredibly excited and happy and proud to announce that I finally have a release date for this next in my audio guide series. And it's going to be right now. Not the announcement, but the release of the guide itself. Because starting Monday, September 6th, Liberty Square will be available for purchase on the WDW Radio shop at WDWRadio.com. The instantly downloadable file will be available at that time, and you can also pre-order the CD version as well. The CD is going to be released in a few weeks, but the download is identical in every way, including all cover art and liner notes. Now, the CD holds no more than 1 hour and 20 minutes of audio, and I can tell you that the Liberty Square audio guide comes in literally at 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 59 seconds, so I packed as much as possible onto this audio guide. Again, we take a very detailed look at the history of Liberty Square, tracing its roots back not only to Disneyland, but to Walt himself, and we'll tour not just the attractions, but the colonial town that makes up Liberty Square, the shops, the restaurants, the stories, and the American history and the people that helped found this nation. And this guide is unique in that it hopefully will not only teach you about the land's very rich layers of storytelling, but educate you about the importance of the real American history that's being shared on the three-dimensional stage that is Liberty Square. I have to tell you that it was one of the most enjoyable and truly educational research projects for me, and it's given me an amazing new appreciation and fascination with this land, and quickly made it one of my favorites in Walt Disney World. So to learn more, or to order your instantly downloadable copy, or to pre-order it on CD, you can visit WDWRadio.com and click on the store link. I hope you enjoy the all-new audio guide to Liberty Square. But wait, there's more. In fact, there's just one more thing. And yes, I'm totally borrowing that from Steve Jobs, but like him, I do have something else to share with you. You see, part of the delay in getting Liberty Square ready for release wasn't just because I wanted to put out the best possible product that I could, but because while researching and writing it, something else happened. And it wasn't my doing, it was Disney's. See, a few months ago, Disney announced something that profoundly changed what I was doing with the audio guides. Sure, when they announced the radical changes and growth coming to Fantasyland, that immediately made the audio guide outdated. Not obsolete, but I look at the guide now as a snapshot in time, which chronicles the history of that land. And don't worry, when the new Fantasyland is finally finished, I will update the Fantasyland audio guide. But it also did something else, and it started the clock ticking. Not just for Fantasyland, but for Mickey's Toontown Fair. And that gave me an idea. I had to be sure and record all that I could in and about this land before it was gone forever, as certainly a Mickey's Toontown Fair audio guide would have to be created, although the plan was to have it follow sort of a projected path, probably after the Tomorrowland audio guide, as Mickey's Toontown Fair was the last and only land to be added to the Magic Kingdom, so it only made sense to have Mickey's Toontown Fair be last in the rotation. But I couldn't release the guide after Toontown Fair had closed. Why? Because these guides aren't meant to be historical reference guides, but instead something to help you enjoy and appreciate the lands even more now when you visit or in between trips. So that's why, in addition to the release of Liberty Square, I'm also releasing Mickey's Toontown Fair out of sequence, as it were, and right now as well. So on Monday, September 6th, you'll not only be able to order Liberty Square, but Mickey's Toontown Fair as an instant download or pre-order on CD. And in this guided walking tour, once again, we're going to look at the history of Mickey's Toontown Fair, from the temporary land created as a birthday present for Mickey Mouse to its changes through the years and the incredible details, trivia, treasures, and tributes to the golden age of early Disney animation. We'll tour the vacation homes of Mickey and his pals and explore the rich layers of details and stories that make this land more than simply a play area for children. And now my hope is that many of you may still have the opportunity to visit Mickey's Toontown Fair before it's replaced by the extension of Fantasyland. And for others, I hope that the guide will let you relive some of your previous visits to the area, maybe spark some memories that you may have. But either way, I hope that you're going to enjoy having this historical documentation of what used to be recorded in Mickey's Toontown Fair while it was still in full operation. So that's it. I've been a very, very busy person lately, and if you follow my updates on Twitter and Facebook, you know that I have not been sleeping very much, and now you know why. Not that I'm going to get much sleep now that these are done, because you know I'm always working on something new, but these have been a true labor of love, and I am so very grateful for the opportunity to be able to share them with you. And I sincerely hope that you have as much fun listening to these and all the audio guides as I did creating them. And again, for more information or to order the guides, you can visit the WDW Radio store at WDWradio.com. That's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks again for taking the time and tuning in. Big thanks to my eating buddies, Glenn, Scott, and John, for joining me, as well as everybody over at Portobello's. Definitely go by. Check out the Meatball Bar. In addition to the show, don't forget to please come by the site over at WDWradio.com for discussion forums, photo galleries, daily blog posts, new videos, and lots more. There you can also find a link to the shop where you can order the audio guides to Walt Disney World. Yes, I'm very excited about those coming out, as well as my Walt Disney World trivia books. You can download the free WDW Radio iPhone app and connect with me and the show through Twitter, Facebook, lots of different ways as well. While you're there, be sure and go back, check out older episodes of the show for more detailed looks and reviews and interviews and so much more. Everything is available in the archives. Just click on the podcast link at the top of the page, or you can check them out on iTunes as well. Quick reminder about some upcoming Disney events and some things that I'll be doing. Don't forget about the Meets of the Month. Again, thanks to everybody who came by a couple of weeks ago in August. I'm still trying to plan out September's, so stay tuned to Twitter and Facebook for information as soon as I have those dates and times locked in, as well as DisneyMeets.com. There you'll find information about the Meets of the Month and all the other meets and events that are coming up, including Destination D is going to be September 24th and 25th out in Disneyland. I am going to be out there attending those events. We are also going to have some meetups while we're out there. As soon as I get a schedule from D23, I'll announce some meetups there. We're also doing a private World of Color dessert party in a private viewing area on Thursday night, the night before the Destination D events get started. That's Thursday, September 23rd, starting at 7:15. We have a reserved viewing area for World of Color. We also have an upstairs terrace dessert party over at the Golden Vine Winery. We are down to the last couple of tickets, so if you're interested in coming, check out the link in this week's show notes or go over to DisneyMeets.com. They are just $29 per person. Definitely going to be worth it. You know we always have surprises in store as well. Going into October, don't forget our annual walkabout during Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival is going to be Friday, October 1st. We are going to wander the promenade together as a group. Starting about 2:30, we're going to record it for the show, probably a video as well. Anyone and everyone is welcome to join us. If you go to DisneyMeets.com, you'll see the Facebook event page. There, if you could, please RSVP. Let us know that you're coming. Also, during Epcot's Food and Wine Festival, because you know it's always about the food, the Swan and Dolphin is holding a special event. They're holding their first annual Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic. That's the following weekend, October 8th and the 9th. It is during Food and Wine Festival. It starts around 4:30, goes to about 9:30. There's beverage seminars, tasting stations along the causeway in between the Swan and the Dolphin. You can learn more about wine blending and the science behind bartending mixology and sake, beer, champagne, and more. But again, it's about the food. So in addition to the music and the tastings, you'll be able to sample some of the cuisine from the award-winning restaurants like Blue Zoo and Shula's. One of my favorites is Il Molino's and Kimono's. You can get tickets the day of the event for the event, or you can also purchase them for a la carte samplings, kind of like you do over at Food and Wine. Again, there's live entertainment there. Follow the link in this week's show notes or over at DisneyMeats.com for more information. That same weekend, also, tickets are still available for Congaloosh. If you want to come, you see a dinner and show by the Adventures Club cast as the original characters on stage at the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Jim Korkis is going to be there giving a couple of tours. I'll be giving a tour. There's a banquet, a Q&A with the cast, a show and sale, lots more. Again, that information too at DisneyMeats.com. And again, we're getting closer. We're beyond the 180-day mark for the cruise aboard the Disney Dream, starting February 27th, 2011. So very excited about that. All the inside cabins are sold out, but there are still other cabins available. For more information, to get a free quote, visit www.radiocruise.com. Don't forget, I still want you to be a part of the show as much as you'd like to be. So if you want to email me with a question, you can email me at lou@wdwradio.com. If you want to play Fact or Fiction for a chance for me to call you, ask you trivia questions about Walt Disney World for a chance for you to win some prizes, email me at factorfiction@wdwradio.com with your name and your phone number. You never know when I may randomly select a name and call you for a chance to play. But look, if you just want to be heard on the air and leave a voicemail, you can call the toll-free voicemail line anytime at 888-703-2171. I love hearing comments about the show. I even love more hearing when you guys call in from the parks while you're at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, or hey, if you're in Tokyo, call from there as well, if you got the minutes. While you're on the site too, don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter, follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and head on over to celebrationspress.com. I've just finished proofing the next issue of the magazine. We've just passed the 2-year mark. Can't believe that we've gone through 12 issues already of Celebrations magazine. But to learn more, order back issues, or to subscribe, again, visit celebrationspress.com. Don't forget, if you want to join us out in Disneyland for Destination D, or if you're planning your next trip to Walt Disney World, Mouse Fan Travel is my official and recommended travel provider. That is it for this week's show. Thanks again for taking the time and tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our segment. I hope you are as excited about Liberty Square and Toontown as I am. And as always, my friends, if you like the show, please help spread the word. Let others know about it. Tweet out that you're listening if you're on Twitter. Share the link to it on Facebook. Please come by if you like, review the show or the iPhone application over in iTunes. And my friends, remember to pursue your passion and follow your dreams. And when you start heading down that path, always keep moving forward. Thanks again for listening. Have a great week, everybody. See ya.
Hey, Lou, it's Michael from New Jersey. We met at the Meet of the Month over at Sunshine Seasons a couple days ago. And today I'm in Hollywood Studios over at the Writer's Stop, and I'm about to eat a carrot cake cookie. So here it goes. Whoa. Hold on, this might take a while. This is a huge cookie. Not really a cookie. It's like 2 pieces of cake between cream and delicious. I just wanted to call and say hi. Right now I'm having a great time with my family and everybody. So, thanks a lot, and See ya.